For his second straight week in a row, San Francisco overcame the odds for a comeback victory over the Lions. But going into this Chiefs game, they can't be looking to get behind Patrick Mahomes, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And while many people are just going to say Patrick Mahomes is going to do it all by himself regardless, the fact is he hasn't had the supporting cast like he's had in the past. For instance, I would say his most consistent and solid weapon this year has had to be Travis Kelce. And in this most recent game against the Ravens, we've seen why he's been so consistent. And at times, honestly, the Ravens showed how not to guard Travis Kelce. But also in this video, I wanted to dive into the Raiders film and show how they shut down this Kansas City offense. But before we get into that, let's look at how Kansas City is utilizing Travis Kelce on the field. Here, for instance, you can see how they're just running a simple screen for him, and the key here is they're just trying to get the ball to Travis Kelce in open space. But I also didn't think the Ravens did a great job of matching up their personnel properly with Travis Kelce. For example, on the third drive of this game on 3rd and 7, Travis Kelce is guarded by a pretty small cornerback, and even if he had better coverage on this play, I bet you Travis Kelce would bring it down. In comparison for San Francisco, I really wouldn't mind seeing Fred Warner on Travis Kelce. He's a bigger body guy and can lay out some hits to break up passes. In addition to that, he has some great coverage skills thanks to his time as like almost an outside linebacker, outside corner in college. On this play, for instance, you can see how Fred Warner is reading the middle of the field and then breaks on this pass from Jared Goff with perfect timing and anticipation. This is exactly how you coach it. And in addition to that, it also makes the wide receiver think twice about coming over the middle. Bouncing back now to the Ravens game, on 3rd and 1, you expect the ball to be going to Travis Kelce, and the Ravens just let him free here. And I saw this time and time again in this game where Travis Kelce wouldn't have a guy next to him for like 5 yards. And during the first half of the Lions game, I noticed San Francisco was playing relatively soft coverage. And if they carry that out to this game, I expect things like this to happen. On 3rd and 1, pick up 5, 6, just enough to keep those chains moving. So for San Francisco, I want them to continue to play aggressive coverage like they did here and have Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner absolutely blow up these plays. To further illustrate my point, here for example, the Raiders are very aggressive at jumping this Travis Kelce route. This keeps Patrick Mahomes in the pocket long enough to get pressured and then finally sacked. Pressure alone on Patrick Mahomes, though, isn't a recipe for success. Here, for instance, you can see how Ravens are bringing the pressure, but then they allow Travis Kelce to get open pretty immediately. Going back to personnel, I really can't imagine San Francisco looking at this Ravens game and thinking it would be a good idea to put Lenore, Thomas, or even Ward on Kelce. I know that Kelce is a great wide receiver, but you need a big body guy to actually contest these catches. Ward may be able to do it, but I think he would be better suited to shutting down maybe Rice. Outside of the linebackers though, I think San Francisco could even feasibly utilize their safeties to slow down Travis Kelce. Here for instance, you can see how Gibson breaks up this pass for Laporta. And I think both Gibson as well as Jair Brown has this ability. You don't even need to necessarily put any safeties on Kelce. You could put Fred Warner on him and just do man-to-man and then have zone coverage to help him out. Going back to this Raiders game for instance, on this play, they're going to be manned up across the board, but they do have help over the middle kind of spying on Patrick Mahomes. And this spy helps take away throwing lanes as well as having that aggressive man coverage, which ultimately leads to a sack. And San Francisco is just as talented as the Raiders and can run this man coverage effectively in my opinion. When I'm looking back on this play, I just envision, let's say, Fred Warner manned up on Travis Kelce, and then having Dre Greenlaw as your floating hitman just ready to lay anyone out. When you're watching this, he's just reading Patrick Mahomes all day, and then as soon as he's taking off, he fires downfield. When I was watching this game, I was actually pretty surprised how uncomfortable Patrick Mahomes did look when the Raiders got pressure in combination with spies. On this play, for instance, he's going to be spying out Patrick Mahomes. But to start the play, I love how he blows up Travis Kelce's route. I thought the Raiders did a nice job of continually trying to disrupt Travis Kelce in whichever way they could. That, in combination with pressure, seems key to slowing down Patrick Mahomes and this red-hot Kansas City offense. To further illustrate my point, even when Patrick Mahomes doesn't get immediate pressure, having a QB spy seems to do enough to stop him from taking off and running it and maybe almost making an interception-worthy throw. And while I know San Francisco isn't known for their man coverage, I think the Raiders has shown that it worked extremely well with Patrick Mahomes, especially when you're able to get pressure with your 4-man front. If San Francisco isn't able to generate that pressure with their 4-man front though, I don't think Steve Wilks should hesitate to blitz. On this play for instance, Patrick Mahomes is under pressure before he can find his open man in the zone coverage defense. When speaking about how to slow down Travis Kelce, while it may be nice to just say put Fred Warner on him all game, I think the best mixture will be a mixture of everything I talked about in this video. Mixture of sure, yeah, Fred Warner manned up on him, but maybe Dre Greenlaw is the QB spy in that case. And then later in the game, who knows, Jair Brown manned up and then had zone coverage to help him out. The biggest thing for San Francisco's defensive success going into this game though has to be the pressure they're able to generate. If they're not able to generate with 4, they have to bring 5 or 6. If not, Patrick Mahomes will just stay in the pocket and dice up this defense. But ultimately, these are just some of my thoughts in ways San Francisco's defense could start thinking about how to slow down Travis Kelce. And I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.